Welcome inside here to the Kingsmen Corner. Griffin Leonard here with head coach Joe Hudak. As always, it's the off season. We're still rolling out some content, but coach, we've had a little bit of a hiatus. Enjoyed some Thanksgiving break. How was yours?
My Thanksgiving break was fantastic, Griff. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, my favorite time of the year. Get to be, remind us to be thankful for everything that we have. We're so blessed here in the States, got a time to be thankful, spend time with family, eat a lot of turkey, and then we go into the Christmas season where we celebrate the birth of our Savior. So it's a great time of the year. And I had a great Thanksgiving, got to go back up to Pennsylvania, my hometown, saw my sister, saw a lot of my former players. So yeah, just a great time.
Yeah.
Ate ate too much food, put on some pounds. I'm working on getting those off now.
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way to do it, though. No, Christmas and Thanksgiving, so much fun. I've got to say, though, despite everything that you said, I'm surprised that it's your favorite part of the year because of the lack of baseball.
Well, the other thing is though, especially when I was coaching college ball and even now, you celebrate the birth of our Savior, but right around the corner is baseball, man. So
There you go.
yeah, it's just a great time of the year.
There you go. So give us an update on how the off season's going. Obviously, you guys have still been hard at work outside of those breaks when the players haven't been here. What's been going on in Gastonia?
Well, we finished our fall outside competition. I think the third week in October. So, the month of the last week in October and the month of November, we've really kind of changed how we're lifting. We lifted from the first day we got here 3 days a week, but that was more of a maintenance program. But now that we're not playing games, we've switched to where we're lifting a little heavier now. We're lifting to gain strength now. So we've been lifting 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Again, a little heavier lift to change in the type of lifting. But then we've also added on Tuesday and Thursday, we're doing speed and agility work. I was over there this morning. Weston Long is our strength and conditioning guy, does a great job, he and his staff. And, so now we're working on, speed and agility, and, helping guys get faster, be quicker, in addition to the lifting. So, 5 days a week now, we're working on that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday lifting, Tuesday and Thursday, speed and agility. We're still doing some baseball stuff, but no team stuff. Like tonight, we're hitting in two different groups tonight. So we'll hit for an hour in each group, do some different things in the cages. It's all indoor work now, and so, yeah, we're still working hard. It's an important part of the off season where we actually try to gain strength and, working with a couple of pitchers, on, if we need to make some type of a change with their mechanics or something, this is the time to do it. You can't really make changes with pitchers when they're still trying to get guys out, right? You got to do that when they don't have to worry about where the ball's going and getting guys out. So, working with a couple of guys on that, but, a lot of times for our pitchers, especially just giving them a break. And a lot of our guys, they started pitching back in February, right? And they've pitched all the way through the spring season in high school, pitched for their travel team in the summer, pitched for us here in the fall. So a lot of guys just need some time off. And so, for most of the pitchers, we're just trying to give them that time off so they can recover. We've got a throwing program for them that they'll start when they go home for Christmas. And so, yeah, we got this week and next week, right? And that'll be it. They'll be gone for 3 weeks for Christmas break. We get back January the 5th and we go to the Dominican January 29th. So we only have a little over 3 weeks when we get back. So we'll be getting ready to play.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's right around the corner, isn't it?
For sure.
And of course, I remember you telling us the last time that we talked that you guys were starting that program soon, lifting a little heavier, focusing more on the non-baseball parts of baseball, so to speak.
Sure. Yep.
Not sure how much you guys are, recording data, taking their 40 times and their deadlift numbers and all of that. But I'm not sure how much you guys have been recording all that data, but are the guys showing some pretty good gains so far in that program?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, Coach Weston Long is our strength and conditioning guy. He's the one that kind of keeps track of, where they are and what they've done. One of the things that we've really tried hard to do over the whole fall with it's not just the lifting part, but it's also the nutrition part. Preston's really high into nutrition, really passionate about it. He's got most of the guys on a meal prep plan, an eating plan, eating good foods for the most part. I'm sure they went off base a little bit over Thanksgiving. I know I did, um, but yeah, I think one of the things we've noticed, I think the average probably with our guys over the time they've been here since August is most of them have put on probably 6 to 8 pounds, and that's good pounds. That's not the kind of pounds that I put on, right? That's good pounds, right? And that's really about the best you can hope for. If you're eating clean and you're working hard, putting on 2 or 3 pounds in a month is really the best you can hope for as far as putting clean muscle on. So the guys have really bought in. They're working really hard. So, Preston's done a great job with nutrition. Weston's done a great job in the weight room.
Now, even though you guys are, going hard at it 5 days a week, I'm sure there's a little bit more downtime than when you were playing in the fall, especially coming up in the spring with the schedule that you guys will have. You had talked back a while back about a bowling trip that you guys had gone on. Just wondering if you guys have gotten to do any other team activities, any excursions like that outside of the weight room.
Not really. We had the guys had an entire 9 days off for Thanksgiving, so we haven't had a lot of time to do something like that. We got one or two other things planned once we get back before we start playing. I know there's one thing that we have planned. We'll share that a little bit later on. But yeah, they've been working hard, and again, with the long time off for Thanksgiving, we haven't had much of a chance to do that.
Of course. It was a big couple of weeks as far as, obviously you guys are trying to prep guys for the next level, getting them ready for collegiate baseball. A couple of guys signed, I know, in the last couple of weeks. How was that experience for the team?
Yeah, that was really cool. We had a signing party here at the apartment, had some balloons, and took videos of it. And Jack Curtis signed with the University of Maine. Owen Beatrice signed with St. John's University. We're going to have some other guys that will sign at some point. We've got a really good club, and we got 26 guys, and I think conservatively, at least 20 of them, maybe 22 of them are going to play college ball somewhere, right? And so we'll have more guys signing at some point. We've had a couple of one verbal commitment, that whenever it becomes a binding signing, we'll release that. But that's what we want to do. We're here to help our guys. That's the sole purpose is help prepare them for college, help them get recruited, and then the other part of it is help prepare them for life.
Now, I know the way recruiting rules work, you can't really talk too much about the non-official recruits, the non-official visits. But just kind of if you could give us just a little peek into the curtain of what that looks like from these guys when college coaches are interested in them as part of the Kingsman Academy, how does that work from maybe your perspective of trying to get these guys as many looks as possible from prospective coaches?
Yeah, it's a good question. So a couple things that we do. One of the things I've done already is once I saw the guys and had a pretty good handle of where they were, I sent out an email to all of the area coaches at all the different levels and said, hey, here's our guys, here's where I think they can play. So they got that probably halfway through the fall, and we certainly had some coaches show up at some of our games. One of the things that we're planning on doing at some point in February is having a college day, where we put them through a pro style workout and play a little inter squad game. That'll probably be between the time we get back from the Dominican and we start conference play. And the thing about academy baseball, when I first started looking at putting this together, I looked at their academy schedules and I saw they play their games at like 11 o'clock in the morning during the week, and I thought, wow, why do you play those games then? There's nobody's going to be able to come and watch you play. Well, that's not true. The people that are going to be able to come and watch you play are the college coaches. I mean, that's why you do that. If we played our games at night or we played on weekends, they're playing. they're not going to be able to come and watch. So we'll have that college day, some weekday, probably at 11 in the morning, and we'll invite all the college coaches to come. And then once we start playing, in our conference, our games, our double headers will start probably at 11 in the morning. Single games will start probably at noon or 1, maybe even at 11. And that allows college coaches to come and watch. And so, we'll do all of those things. We also have partnered with Flat Ground Sports, which is a national recruiting service. We're their only academy that they partner with, which is really important for us. That was pretty cool. And they're a recruiting service, so they have some things that they do that will help us get our guys recruited. That's the whole thing. Our whole goal. I mean, I've won enough games, right? I mean, I've won championships and won games. That's not why we're doing this. We're doing this for the guys, so we want to get them recruited. We want to get them to be able to play, but we also, again, are trying to help them grow as men. And so it's been really cool to see that happening.
Of course. And talking about the partnership with Flat Ground, just for those who aren't as involved in how recruiting works or, the ways that they can help this academy, just kind of walk us through a little bit more, if you wouldn't mind, just how that partnership's going to work with getting your guys more exposure.
Well, that we're their only partnership academy, and so anytime we send out any type of uh, a tweet or something on X, they retweet it. Uh, if one of our guys, sends out some stuff on himself, they retweet it. And they also have something that's brand new. And they have a recruiting survey questionnaire type thing, where our players will fill out information about, hey, this is the part of the country I think I'd like to play in. This is a level I'd like to play at. Here's my velocity, here's my running speed, whatever it might be. And I mean, it's just a whole big survey, and they plug it in, and then they get a printout, of, hey, these are the schools that probably match you pretty well. And then our guys can go on to their website and they can say, this kid, I want to play at North Carolina. Well, he can go on their website and, okay, here are the right-handed pitchers at North Carolina. Their average velocity is 92 to 94. Here's the hitters, their exit velocity is this. Their average running speed is this for outfielders. And so, they can look at it and say, okay, the average right-handed pitcher of North Carolina throws 92 to 94. I throw 84 to 86. I'm probably not going to be able to go there. All right. I'm not going to be able to go there. I might be able to try to walk on, but I'm not going to be able to go there and get a scholarship and expect probably to play. So they can look and say, okay, here are the schools where 84 to 86 is kind of the average, and those are the guys, that maybe I could consider. So it gives you a good chance to get a handle on where you really fit, in the recruiting process. So it's a really good tool, and I think it costs like $150, for anybody else to do it, but our guys get to do it for free because of our partnership with them. So that's another really good recruiting tool, for our guys.
That's really cool. It almost sounds like some odd baseball version of online dating, trying to
Yes,
find a perfect
matchmaker, I
match.
guess. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Just one more question about the signing day. You guys have guys of different ages. You have guys that are gap year, high school seniors down to some sophomores. For the
Mhm.
younger guys specifically, seeing the guys at the top of the depth chart get college offers, get to have that signing day experience. What do you think that's like for them to, serve as almost some inspiration for as they continue to develop?
I think it does two things. I think number one, it serves as inspiration. Say here's one of my teammates. He's got this, scholarship, and he signed at a Division I program. I think it also can give them maybe a clear understanding of what it takes, right? And what D1 schools are looking at. So they can look and see. I mean, the two guys assigned are very good players. They're very talented. And they have obviously some special skills that you can look at and say, well, for me to be able to get to where the point where, I can be signed by a Division I school, here's what I got to be able to do. I got to get as, work hard and get better and get my skill level to where their levels are. So I think it does both. And again, it may give them a really realistic look at where they might be able to sign. I mean, Jack Curtis, for example. I mean, Jack's right-handed pitcher. He's 88 to 90. He's a dual guy. He's a really good hitter. Probably was our best hitter this fall. With good power. And so yeah, if I want to sign at a school like the University of Maine, here's where I got to get to. So I think it does both of those things for them.
For sure. The next couple of weeks, obviously, you're still in the off season, you're still working hard in the gym, but outside of that, what do the next couple of weeks look like for you specifically, Coach, as we get closer to Christmas time?
Well, I think this year, this week, again, we're gonna hit the next 3 nights in the cage, in the cages at 704 Sports Academy. Weston has a great facility there. We're blessed to be able to have it. So we're gonna hit, in groups tonight and tomorrow night. We'll have about 10 guys at a time. We'll have 3 different hitting groups, different stations, working on different stuff. Working on, situational hitting. Working on backside. Preston will work with them a lot off the tee. So we're doing that this week. Next week, probably more of the same. Although for me personally, next week I'm actually going to be in Puerto Rico. All right, I'm going to Puerto Rico next Monday, and we'll be back the following Thursday. That's the day before our guys leave, so I'll get back before they leave. But I have a good friend that's has another baseball ministry of his own, and he's going to Puerto Rico to try to set up a ministry down there for his ministry. And we have 4 or 5 guys that I know that are, we have this Monday morning baseball coaches and scouts baseball Bible study, Zoom Bible study. I mean,
Okay.
it's fantastic. We have probably 80 or 90 guys on every week from all over the country. And these guys are all on that. And so there's 5 of us that are going. He wants to try to see if he can do some ministry down there at some point. I've always wanted to take one of our summer teams down there, for one of our trips. And so I'm going to look at that. But another really important reason for me to go is, I want to start seeing if we can recruit some guys from Puerto Rico to come to the academy.
That'll be
You know,
really cool.
we'd love to recruit some Dominican kids, but the Dominican kids have a really hard time getting a visa or a passport, right? Well, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. They don't need a visa or a passport to come here. So I'm actually going to try to, if I can, I'm looking for a catcher and a couple of pitchers for this spring, for January. I'm going to see if we might be able to recruit a couple of Puerto Rican kids, and some of the other academies have done well recruiting in Puerto Rico. So, I'm going to try to see if we can I'm going to try to see, hey, if we come down here and bring a team, where can we stay? Who can we play? Get some contacts for that, but also, some contacts to try to recruit for the future for the academy. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Never been to Puerto Rico. It's a great baseball place. And so excited to do that. So I'm going to be down there next Monday through Thursday, and hopefully come back, hopefully not empty handed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, safe travels, have some fun, and don't tan too much.
I won't be tanning, I can tell you that.
All right. Well, Coach, we're looking forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks for joining us. It's always good to hear what's going on with the academy, and I can't wait to talk soon again.
Yeah, I think next time maybe we can, we're in the process of we almost have our schedule finalized. Hopefully we'll be posting that maybe in the next couple of weeks. So maybe the week after I get back from Puerto Rico, we can do this again. And, by then, hopefully we'll have our schedule done and we can, post it and talk about where we're going and when we're going to go there and all the schedule things and trying to recruit again. I think we just signed another pitcher from Canada that's going to come in January. And so talk about that, the fact we're going to have 2 teams now, we're going to need a few more players. So we've been working hard on that. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, the nice little preview there for what's to come on the Kingsmen Corner. Stay tuned, just like you heard from Coach. A couple weeks from now, we'll do a full schedule release episode, break down the matchups, break down how the ABA league schedule and structure is going to look from the Kingsmen perspective. Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good, Griff.
All right. Well, for Coach Hudak, I'm Griffin Leonard saying so long. We'll talk to you the next time on the Kingsman Corner. But once again, stay tuned. In a couple of weeks, we'll break down the schedule as we get closer and closer to Christmas time. Have a good one.